Hello everybody. I just wanted to do a very quick intro. As you well know, I just did a makeup video, or I'm about to post one. It'll be attached to this, and I lacked a heck of a lot of inspiration for some time there, so I had something come to me. Sorry, hot flash happens all the time. And it's not really that hot, so I know it's a hot flash. We've had the strangest weather here. Like, one day it's 55 degrees, the next day it's 90. It's strange. Anyway, I just wanted to do a very quick intro because I know it's been a hot minute, but I've been a hot mess. And so, that's another video. I know I've promised it. I'll get to it. As you can see, I'm having a hot flash, and it's not even, you know, I've got the AC on, so I'll just fan myself while I speak, because I have no reason to hide hot flashes. I mean, I've made it very clear that I'm menopausal. So anyways, I finally got up the inspiration and the idea by watching a bunch of Instagram makeup pictures and like 15-second videos. And there was a couple that sort of like in combination, you would come up with something like this. And so that's where this came from. And as you can see, it is a really heavy eye. So this is not daytime makeup. But I toned down the face, so it's like, you can really wear a really bright lipstick. It'll balance it out more. And yeah, as you can see, I did add some color because I put on this very neutral shade that I have, but it makes it's like the color of my skin, so it makes me look like I have no lips. So I had to mix some color into it. And it's a shame because I really like it. Holy crap. This is like a 5-minute hot flash. Okay, so as you can see, there's a lot of sunsetty colors. I know it's not fall, but I don't like spring colors, and so I came up with this. The lashes are by Kiss, I believe, and as I always do, I introduce each product in the actual video, and not list, you know, sit there and type out everything that I used, because to me that, you know, kudos to those of you who do it, but to me that doesn't make a whole lot of sense when the products, you know, you can see what people are using in the video. And, you know, for the most part, I show you what I'm using, and I even talk about it as I'm doing my narrations. So this is pretty. It's kind of like really daring and kind of like between sunset and tropical looking eye with a bit of a cut crease. As you know, I have hooded eyes, so I've got to cut my own crease. I really like it. Again, I did fail a little bit to probably use a little bit brighter of a lipstick, but I did like the toning down of the face makeup. Like, there's no blush, there's just a little bit of contouring and a little bit of bronzing. Nothing, you know, too much. A little bit of highlighting. But it's eye heavy, so you probably should have on a lipstick that balances it out. Probably like a bright pink or even a red would work. I wouldn't get caught dead with orange lipstick, but even that would work if it's something you like. I have seen orange lipstick. It does exist. I personally don't own any, so for me it would be a pinkish or a reddish lip. And if you do like pink nudes, those probably would work as well. Other than that, the brows were done. Well, I did one brow on camera, and that's because I haven't done an updated brow video in so very long. So I did include, you know, I got one brow done on camera, and I ran out of SD card memory or space, because I had previous videos that I hadn't erased, so that was a little bit of a hot mess while I was trying to record this. There may be a couple of blips here and there because of that. So, excuse me, I never claimed to be a video person or a photographer. That's not my thing. My thing is the makeup. I do the best I can with the photography and the videography, if that's what this is called. With the taping, with the filming, and like you guys well know, if you've seen any of my videos, I'm a one-woman show. So there's nobody, editing for me or anything for me. I do the whole shebang by myself, which is why you don't see that I put these up very often, because of that. That's one of the reasons, and because of the hot mess part, which is another video. But I want to throw in here very, very quickly. Actually, no, that's going to be another video too, because that's a bit much for a makeup video. So I think I covered, you're going to see there are some new products. Again, I talk about them. So, like right now, I'll just show you, because I do believe that I held them up, but and I know that I'll talk about them in my narration. But these here are by Sonia Kashuk. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. This is a limited edition, so I don't know if you can pick these up anywhere. I thought it was a great bargain. It's like $20 for all of these brushes. So these are new, and the shadows are brand new. But again, I will talk about those as you're watching the video and I'm narrating. I talk about everything that you see that I'm using. So that will all be in the video, and I think that's it. And so I can get another one up. I'll see you guys really soon, and thanks for watching. Bye-bye. Okay, so here, as promised, I'm getting into the brows, and this brow pencil is by L'Oreal. It is called, I believe it's it's not Brow Define. It's a Brow Stylist Defined, and I like it because it's got the little brush on the end. I use this to, as you can see, sculpt out the brow, and then I will fill it in with the I believe it's LA Colors brow powder that I'll pick up in just a moment. And it's been a really long time since I've done one, so I included the brow definition, and I actually just plucked them, so you can see it's a little bit irritated, and I've been doing that myself lately. So I wanted to, while I'm doing this, sincerely apologize for the severe hot flash episode I had in the introduction. I probably should have stopped recording and let that pass me by, but you know what? It's a good thing for you guys to see that, because when I go to do my hot mess video, that's going to be included. Menopause and all of the wonderful things that I go through. So here goes the powder, and this is, again, very well loved, and I've used it in just about every video, and that will fill in after I have sculpted and defined my brow, and I'm pretty much just following the natural shape of my brow, well, almost. I went a little bit outside of the lines and gave it some more definition. So this is the NYX concealer that you guys know is also well loved and is in about every video. And these are the brushes that I was talking about by Sonia Kashuk. Again, a limited edition, but I'm right here showing you the concealer brush because I'm using the NYX concealer to sculpt out my brow. And what that will do is really give it a nice, clean, very much defined look. It'll really, your brows will really have that really defined, clean-cut look, I guess. And this is a a double-edged or double-sided brush. One side is the concealer, the other side is for foundation. By this point, I have already done one eye, and I'm showing you now the brushes from the Sonia collection that I will be using on my eyes. Here's where it gets dicey with the SD card, so I'm going to try really, really hard to walk you guys through this. This is the palettes that I'm going to be using. This is a good, the first palette I just held up is a good dupe for Anastasia Beverly Hills. The rest, here, this one you've seen, Wet n Wild, and the one before that was Coastal Scents. These are the new tiny palettes by Wet n Wild, and all of these will be used. Also, you've seen these before if you watch my videos, and so I'll be using these pencils, or at least two of them out of there. And again, the NYX. And again here, my concealers. I bought a new one, a lot lighter for highlighting, and this is the Maybelline Age Rewind. I use those in my videos as well, but I have a brand new one here, and I'm showing you it's a lot lighter. I'm going to be using that instead of the NYX concealer to prime my lids. Then I'm going to go in after I do this here. And I'm using that Posh, the concealing side. I like this brush a lot, but I don't even know where you can get this. I'll try and find out. I picked it up at a drugstore, a mom and pop. I'll try and find out. And I'm going to set here that, that Maybelline concealer with the e.l.f. brush, and that's like a mini kabuki brush, and a really, really light shade from the Wet n Wild eyeshadow palette. And then I'm going to go under the eye because shadows are going to go there as well. And then again, set everything in place. This just makes it a lot easier once you start laying down your colors. And then with the big fluffy brush, I'm going to go in with like this mustardy yellow from the Coastal Scents palette, and that's going to go on my high, way high, is my transitionary shade, up on the upper high crease. And a lot of blending goes into this, so this takes a good 10 minutes. And then that sherbet, like orangey shade, is going to go right on top of that again, up in the high crease, and a lot of blending. I try to shorten the blending because it's so much and these videos get really long. So again, with the same brush, and then I have this little green thing with me that I use to clean my brushes in between colors. So if I'm going to be using the same brush. And then this really bright orangey shade, again, right on top. And I'm going lower, lower, lower. This is a really rounded shape. This is going to go all the way around the eye, even to under the ends of the eyes. You'll start to see that the orange falls under there. And then the darkest orange is going to go a little lower in the middle of the crease. And then again, a lot of blending. And each color is applied at least twice. So it's a lot of eyeshadow. And then you'll see again, lots and lots of blending. Then I'm going to go back into that mustardy shade, the first shade that I used, and go all around the darker oranges and just blend out all of the edges. It's a very round shaped eye up until I get to the browns with the red undertones, which is the Impressed You palette by Beauty Glazed. And that's the dupe for the Anastasia. They're very, very buttery. And I'm going to leave a link down if you guys are interested in getting Anastasia Beverly Hills shadows. Here goes a shade that also has a reddish undertone. It's like a bricky color. And that's going to go below the bright, bright orange. Again, from the beginning to the end of the eye. I don't start cutting my crease just yet, not until I get to the dark browns. So you'll see, you can see that the bricky color is just as much in to the inner part of the eye as the oranges are. And so I'm blending and blending and blending, and then I get to another bricky color in the Impress You palette here, you see. And I'm now using a pencil brush, and that's because I'm going to be working in smaller areas. But I'm going to take my e.l.f. blending brush and go over everything and blend it all together. And then here goes the browns, and then with a smaller pencil brush, again by e.l.f., this is where I start to cut. So this is half of the eye, not the whole eye. And lower, this is in the lower crease. This will also go under the eye the same way that I applied it on the top. So you get the idea by this point. And you're going to have to excuse me because it gets a little bit dicey when I here with this close-up, because I start running out of space on my card, and it affected the way the video came out. So here with the gel eyeliner, that's by Maybelline. Use it all the time. That's going to be like a little bit of a base, and it's only going to go in a teensy little section towards the end of the eye. You have to be so careful. You use so tiny of that. It's not even funny how teensy, and look at how much product it gave me. And then with a small little blending brush, this is a little generic, kind of like fluffy, very, very small fluffy brush I have. I can't even see where it's from because I don't remember. But it's the only one I have that's like that. And then here with the Sex Bomb by NYX, I'm going to start pulling out the black and the gray to set that black, and also, to give it more intensity. So here I have cut, and you'll see that black is coming in only at the quarter of the end of the eye, where the browns came in towards, the middle of the eye. So with each darker color, you are using it more and more towards the end of the eye and smaller sections. The darker the colors get, if you can understand what that means. Well, you can clearly see it. And so with the black and the gray and the Sex Bomb palette, I am setting and blending. Setting and blending. Then I'm going to go back in with the orange and go over the black all around and all around the browns, and just for good measure blend all of my seams out. And then with the Milk by NYX, I'm going to place that in the middle of the eye with that small little e.l.f. brush and start cutting my crease. This is going to give me a really pretty, a clean cut. Then I'm going to set it with that white. That's the same white that I have on my brow bone, which by the way, I don't think I narrated that I did that. It went by a little fast. But I did, yeah. I highlighted my brows with that same exact white. And then with a bigger, I know you can't see here too much, yeah, bigger concealer brush, I am sort of tapping that on and setting and also blending at the same time. These are wet products, so you don't want to blend those with your dry product brushes. And then coming in with that orange, that pink, and that, I don't know what that is, a very, very light color. It's like orangey pink. And just tapping that with a placement brush right in the middle of the eye. And you're mixing a little bit into the black so that there's no space between one color into the next. So you just blend it right into the black, and the black will blend into the pink, and so on and so forth. And then taking another brush just to, blend it out a little, smooth it all out. Then I'm going to take a loose pigment and go over that in a minute. But with that bricky red and the pink with the reddish undertone and the Wet n Wild palette that I have, I go in the corners, and that's pretty red. That's like dark bricky red. I'm gonna go in the inner corners, and also I'm gonna blend that into the black, just on the edges of the black, coming into the middle of the eye. Inner corners and right on the edge of where I have the black on the ends of the eye. And then with the orange, the light orange, and the small Wet n Wild by Fergie palette, I am again going to come around all the browns and the oranges and reblend. And I'm going to blend the little red in the inner corner of my eye with that. And then with a small angled pencil brush, I'm going to take the black and go ahead and go over the black at the ends. I'm going to intensify it and cut my crease further, so more definition, and then take a different brush. It's an angled brush, and those are the brushes that I have. I forget what they're called, but I use them in just about every video. You can get those in any department store, and they have sets and sets of these brushes. So I'm using that to blend that out, the small little brushes. It's escaping me now, but you guys can go back to any of my videos and see these brushes. And then here goes the loose pigment. It's by LA Colors, and it's like a princess bright pink. And that's going to go right over, right in the middle of the lid over the pink that I laid down. And then I'm going to go back in with that bricky red and reblend the colors at the edges. I do that on both eyes just to make sure they show up on camera and that they're even. Now I'm looking at both eyes to make sure, and you should always do that. Check the other eye, make sure that they both look the same before you start laying down your eyeliners. So coming in here with a flat liner brush, I am again taking some brown and black together and just further cutting the crease to come into the middle of the eye. Then I go over that again and blend it out. So it's a process, and you can slow down this video as much as you like, just so that you can get it right, and rewind and all that. Now coming under the eye with the brightest of the oranges, which comes from the Fergie palette, and also the brightest orange in the Coastal Scents. And then with the red, I go right over that. That comes from the Wet n Wild palette. And then with the flat liner brush, both of the browns in that Wet n Wild Fergie palette, right on the lash line. And there's a lot of blending that goes on there. And then taking this Milani, this is a really, really good kohl pencil. And they're really creamy, and they're also water resistant or waterproof. And then with the Sephora on the inner lid, because it's more inky black, and we didn't want any flesh. I didn't want any flesh to show. This is supposed to be really intense eye. So taking a little brush and just blending everything out again. And then I'm going to take the black from the, I believe it's a NYX Sex Bomb palette, and set the eyeliners with the same black liner brush that I have been cleaning on my makeup cleaner pad over and over so that I could reuse them. And then so into liner here, and I'm going to use the Maybelline Eye Studio, I believe it's called. And this is their Blackest Black. That's an e.l.f. angled liner brush. And I'm just going to do from the middle of the eye a wing. Middle of the eye out, and just flick, and then I'm going to connect it. So I do that with this brush. I'm going to go over that with a Wet n Wild liquid eyeliner, just to give it that inkiness so that it stands out. And that's eyes done. So from here, I get into the face, which is not much. Oh, sorry, lashes, again by Kiss. And they're really, really large demi-wispies. I put on mascara. This is a Wet n Wild, their latest mascara. One is fiber. The white bottle is fibers. And the black bottle is a very black mascara that goes over the fibers. And then to the face, and I'm priming with the e.l.f. primer. And then True Matches is a Sun Beige, brand new, I just bought it. I mixed it with the Sephora highlight because this is not intense. So you can mix this just a teensy little bit with your foundation and get a real pretty satiny looking face. And then I just take the highlighter by itself, and where highlighter goes, I apply that. And then I blend it in with a beauty blender. And then here goes the face brushes by Sonia. And here goes my Maybelline concealer. And I use the ivory one. So I'm concealing and highlighting at the same time. Then I'm going to set with the Coverall by LA Colors. I'm sorry, Wet n Wild. And just the tiniest bit. And then this is an e.l.f. These are highlight beads. And I'm taking a different brush, an angled, like kabuki type of brush. And then the same brush after I clean it. And with an e.l.f. And I have like 4 different shades. This is both a bronzer and I was gonna say concealer. But you know what I'm doing. And here goes that nudish lipstick. This is by NYX, and I have about 5 shades. But it was, as you can see, flesh toned. And I needed some color to balance out the eyes. You have to have some kind of color on the lip. So that's what I did with this lip liner. That's by Rimmel. That's like a reddish pink. And contouring is what I was doing with the e.l.f. Palette. So I think that ends this video. Until next time, thanks for watching.